Welcome back to Northwest Elite Spirit, the channel you come to train your mind, body, and spirit. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do that now. I'm Coach Brian, and this is self-importance versus self-worth. And this is a lesson from Armondo Torres' book, Encounters with the Nagual, Conversations with Carlos Castaneda, from the chapter Self-Importance. And since I like to give my lessons and learn my lessons based on real life experience, I'm going to start with Carlos Castaneda when him and Armondo Torres are in the bookstore. And Carlos notices that his book, A Separate Reality, has been put on the fiction shelf. This bugs Carlos, and that though he didn't write it as fiction, if we are practicing non-importance, the fact that it's on the fiction shelf should not bug him. And the lesson for us is that external classifications don't diminish the intrinsic value of our personal work, and that we should focus on the impact of our work rather than the perceptions of others. As we read, we get an indication that Armondo feels special, that Carlos had an indication about him. The lesson here is to understand that everyone has unique experiences and guidance, and what we need to do is focus on our own personal journey and our own personal experiences without comparing ourselves to others. And you may notice this when you're having a conversation with someone where either they or you feels the need to have the last word in a conversation, not necessarily to one-up one another, but just to bring the focus back to self. And one great way of getting around this is to just practice being attentive and listening to the people who are talking to you without having any need to dominate the conversation. Without going too far in the book, Carlos expresses frustration about his stature and his appearance. And how we can get around this for ourselves is to just accept ourselves as we are and focus on our internal qualities rather than outward appearance, building confidence through self-acceptance and self-love. Now, concerning self-pity, Armondo feels perplexed at Carlos's teaching and seeks further explanation. And what you can do when you're confused in your learning is to just understand that some things take a while to come to light, and with diligence and patience, the answers will come. Carlos tells stories about how harsh Don Juan could be and how Carlos sought sweeter treatment and went out into the world and sought other gurus, only to realize that Don Juan was closer to the truth in those, and so he returned to Don Juan. And what we need to understand is there's often discomfort with learning something new or practicing something new, and we need to embrace the challenges and the hardships as obstacles to overcome, to strengthen ourselves and to become better people. Understanding that often rigorous training is better than cushy and spoilt training. Carlos expresses that at one time he would feel pity for people who felt self-important because they would become rigid and even bring harm to themselves through their self-importance. And what we can do in this situation, if we are dealing with self-important people, is to understand that everybody has the ability to grow and to do better. And with patience, if you have decided to team up with somebody, partner with somebody, or spend your energy on somebody We have to have patience and allow them to figure some things out. And we encourage them with empathy and not with pity. Empathy is understanding, not necessarily coddling. Now, Carlos talks about how it's better to be an average man with self-importance than to be, say, a sorcerer or a powerful man with self-importance, because powerful people with self-importance not only destroy themselves, but they destroy people and things around them. He talks about how as you destroy self-importance, you gain power, but there's always a parasite or this little inkling of self-importance in there, and if we're not careful, all it takes is one slip up of self-importance to bring everything down around you. So the advice here is to encourage self-examination. Now, these books were written before social media, and I personally feel that social media has greatly elevated the feeling of self-importance, not just in individuals, but in the world at large. It seems everyone is obsessed with self-promotion and personal branding. Now, self-importance, or the inflated perception of one's own significance in this world, can have dire consequences on not just the self, but again, society at large. Now, while a healthy sense of self-worth is essential for well-being, an inflated sense of self-importance can lead to destructive outcomes and behaviors. Social media, with its constant reinforcement of social validation, plays a crucial role in fostering and amplifying this mindset. So what are the dangers of self-importance? It's not just a harmless personality trait. It can lead to a cascade of negative consequences. Erosion of relationships. Excessive self-importance often leads to narcissistic behaviors, where individuals prioritize their needs over the needs of others. This can erode personal and professional relationships, as people tend to avoid those who constantly seek validation and attention. Mental health issues. The constant need for recognition and validation can lead to high anxiety, depression, and other mental disorders. When self-worth is tied to external validation, any perception of failure or lack of recognition can cause significant emotional distress. Lack of personal growth. Self-important individuals believe they are above criticism and feedback. This mindset inhibits personal growth and development, as they are less likely to acknowledge and learn from their mistakes. Ethical compromise. In extreme cases, self-importance can lead to unethical behavior. In extreme cases, self-importance can lead to unethical behavior. The belief that one is superior can lead to actions that actually harm others, as self-important individuals see themselves as exceptions to the rule. Social media platforms, originally designed to connect people and bring people together so they can share information and interests, have inadvertently become breeding grounds for self-importance. You have validation through metrics. Social media systems operate on likes, shares, comments, and followers, which quantify and publicly display social validation. This creates a feedback loop where users constantly seek to increase their metrics, and people often equate higher numbers with higher self-worth. Curated realities. Users present idealized versions of their life, highlighting success and positive moments while omitting failures and mundane aspects of their life. This where self-worth is measured against unrealistic standards, where self-worth is measured by unrealistic standards set by others. Social media algorithms promote content that align with users' existing beliefs and interests. This creates an echo chamber that promotes self-importance by surrounding individuals with like-minded validation, reducing exposure to different points of views and reducing criticism. Influencer culture. The rise of influencers who gain fame and fortune through personal branding promotes the idea that self-importance or self-promotion are the ways to fame and fortune. This cultural shift encourages people to prioritize their online persona rather than having authentic interactions and displaying their personality and integrity. So how do we combat the effects of self-importance? Promote authenticity. When you're out in the world, doing your thing and meeting other people, be yourself and do as Don Juan says, where he says, speak to people's spirit. Try to bring out the true nature of people and always express your true authentic self. Foster self-examination. I won't say self-awareness. Being aware of yourself can give people a lot of anxiety and you can get stuck in that. Whereas those same traits can come out, and with self-examination, you are a little more removed from it and you can see a little more clearly what is being done, what the root causes are, and what you can do about it. Limit social media use. We've all heard this before. Instead of waking up in the morning and turning over to grab your phone or your device right away, take some time to meditate. Instead of, when you have nothing to do, picking up your device, doodle, draw, write, talk to somebody, go for a walk. Instead of staring at your device before you go to bed, again, meditate, do some affirmations, have a conversation with your loved one. Cultivate empathy and community. So when you're being empathetic, it allows you to see outside of yourself quite a bit more. And when you're being empathetic within a community, it helps you to see where you can build a better life for yourself and the people around you within that community, rather than being so self-focused. Self-importance can be a silent killer when you're on social media scrolling through, or you're constantly, trying to find what videos or photos to upload to get that validation that you're looking for. Recognize the dangers of self-importance and the dangers of social media, and start taking steps to foster more authenticity within yourself and within the people around you, online and offline. Once again, I'm Coach Brian with Northwest Elite Spirit, the channel you come to train your mind, body, and spirit. Once again, Coach Brian with Northwest Elite Spirit, the channel you come to train your mind, body, and spirit. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do that now. If you liked this video and thought it was interesting, give it a like and comment below. Share with like-minded individuals, and as always, practice. Thank you.